I know stuttering doesn't jump out at you as a good thing, but I've been living with mine for about 18 years, and now I know that it's not so black and white. Without my stutter, okay, I wouldn't be that scared while presenting something, and I won't be stressed at school. I will admit that there are a lot of aspects of my life in the past few years that would have been much better had I not had a stutter. But on the bright side, I now think that I'm more disciplined than the average person. I think that I have achieved all the benefits that I would have had I not had a genetic stutter by plain hard work. As a result, I now have accepted my stutter as part of me. I know that it won't probably go away fully, but I do not judge myself on it. And I know that whatever challenge it might throw at me, I can do it. I can handle it. If you too want to achieve this peaceful state, click on the link down below for my personal coaching. It has always been known that suffering is the greatest motivator for change. Everyone has their own breaking point, after which they can't handle all the problems, all the pressure, and they stop ignoring the underlying issue and actually start to tackle it. For me, this point was after years of building pressure because of my constant stressful school experiences. I felt like people were talking behind my back about my stutter. I avoided oral exams like the plague, and presentations were fairly difficult for me actually, but I always didn't understand how I could talk with my friends easily. And after adding the pressure of public speaking, I would always clam up and try to push the words out. So one day I finally had enough. I had a full emotional breakdown in front of my family. I expressed all the bottled up feelings. I did not hide anything because for a long time they actually didn't know how severely this stutter impacted me, how much I despised my stutter, how much it bothered me. It took one painful conversation to actually start going to a speech therapist. Then after that I started to read and do some research on the topic. I realized that I wasn't alone and I could improve. This is where the discipline comes into the equation. I now had some habits that my speech therapist recommended me that could improve my stutter. And although I was a bit skeptical at first, because I didn't really understand how some of these practices could actually improve my stutter, I took a leap of faith and decided to try them all out for months. Bottom line, I stuck with these habits and fairly easily managed to improve my speech and my confidence. And this also helped me become more disciplined in other areas of my life, like in bodybuilding, a hobby that I picked up a few months before this breaking point. Because discipline can be used everywhere. So here's one personal example. A few weeks ago, I had an upcoming exam. It was a Cambridge C1 language level certification. A pretty serious exam for me. The week before the exam, I finished my language course. I knew I could take it right then and there, and I would not fail it. I would just pass. It would be easy. I didn't have to do any extra studying for it. But that was not me anymore. I decided that I had to do 15 extra tests in the following week before the exam. And there were only two modules that I could realistically prepare for. That was the use of English in reading and also the listening part of the test. And nobody forced me to do these extra tests. Not my parents, not the teacher. It was just who I had become. The discipline that I had built pushed me to this challenge. Throughout the whole language course, you basically do only 8 practice tests, but they're in pieces throughout the whole book. So 15 tests seemed like a hard but doable goal. So after going through this hell week of doing tests multiple times a day and creating this type of videos, so scripting them, recording them, editing them, the exam came and that hard work paid off. I breezed through the 2 modules that I studied for fairly fast. The other 2, the writing and the speaking part of the exam, you can't realistically study for them, but I gave it my best shot, of course. And with the confidence that breezing through the last 2 parts of the test built in me, the other 2 weren't much of an issue either. People in my language course used to think that I'm some kind of genius at English, but I'm certainly not. They would call me a nerd for studying so much, but what else would you do the week before an important exam? I went to the gym every day also. I went to school for half the week. I think that they were just lazy and had to drag me down to their level. All this to say that stuttering is fantastic actually for building a good level of discipline. And I am now grateful that I spent the time in building this level of discipline, that I can now use it fairly easily in other parts of my life, in other activities like studying, for example. If you haven't done it already, please start addressing your stutter. Pretending that it's not there would only waste you time and you would lose on the opportunity costs. So the time that you would have spent doing something useful instead of worrying about your stutter. So watch this video and have a nice day.